Hi, little red roll. Can you hear me? I'm just going to mute for a little bit, and I'll just wait a couple of minutes if you just want to grab a cuppa or something, or whatever, and then I'll see if anybody comes in, and we'll have a bit of a chat. I'm not going to be on long. It was just a quick check-in, just to update on what I've got planned and things like that, and how I'm going to try and move forward, and see what you guys think. See if you think I've got some good ideas or the bad ideas or whatever. So I'm just going to mute for a couple of minutes and see if anybody else wants to join us. If not, it'll be me and you, honey, having a chat. All right. Hey, West End. I'm just waiting for a couple of people coming in. I'm just keeping my mute on just for a couple of minutes and see if we get any more in. If not, I will start. I'll give it till 14:38, and then we'll just start. Hi, Kim G. Good to see you. So if you want to grab a cup of cigarette or pop or tea or whatever, just grab some. I'm only planning on being on the maximum 3:30 or sooner. Because that's what time the kids get in from school. It was just a quick check in to tell you what I'm going to be doing and see if you've got any ideas or if you think I shouldn't do whatever or I should do something or whatever. So, yeah. Thank you for joining me, though. I really appreciate it. I think the word is thank fuck it's Friday, Kim, because what a week it's been, eh? Can you not hear me? Can everybody hear me? Because uh, give it another 2 minutes and then we'll start. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Anybody lurking in the bushes, feel free to just stick a thumbs up or to hit the like or just say hello. You don't have to join in. Just let us know you're here. I can see there's 7. So, okay, we'll get started in a minute. Okay, guys. I think this is all we're gonna get in, but that's good. It's not about how many there is, it's about the quality of the people that's in here. So all my faves. So hiya. What's everybody been up to? Anything good today? It's early morning there, isn't it? Hiya, Barnes. Good to see you. Thanks for popping in. I really appreciate it. It's nice to have the support. It's just a quick live. Just I'm not doing anything major. I'm just gonna like check in because I've been a bit flaky lately and not turning up and things. But I've had a lot going on. But hopefully things have settled down right now, so I'll be able to get a schedule put together. Um, so I was thinking during the week, obviously not on school holidays, but during the week it would be this time, Monday to Friday. No, sorry, Monday to Friday the week, one week, which would be this week. Then next week it would be Monday to Thursday this time for an hour, just to check in and chat. And then it will be like next weekend. It would be the Friday would be about 8 o'clock my time, which is UK time, 8 p.m. at night, for a couple of hours to do some proper like looking at some stuff. Maybe I've put together like a PowerPoint presentation type of thing around um, family and friends and neighbours and colleagues support for domestic abuse victims, domestic violence victims, um, and survivors, and what to and what not to do, and how you can best support them, and for the wider community. So I'd like to go over that, so and give people some ideas of what will help and what will hinder, and yeah, because we all know somebody, you know. Yeah, I see. I can't. Well, I could, but I can't because the kids run amok. Um, my children would just torment the life out of me. I wouldn't be able to do anything because my house is too noisy. When the children are in, they're just the boys. So I have three boys at home. I mean, one's an adult, but he's still like a child. They don't grow up, but men, I don't think. Um, so I have three boys, and the three of them, even though one's an adult, they play fight and they run about and they play music and they play games and they shout at each other because they play games against each other on the Xbox, and it would just be an absolute nightmare. So um, that's you know that's what it would be like. So it'll be this time during the week, like this week, and then next week, like every other week. I'm not making any sense. So this week's would be Monday to Friday at this time for an hour, just a cuppa and a check in and a chat. And then the following week would be Monday to Thursday this time. And then the Friday would be a couple of hours. And then the Saturday I could do a couple of hours like on some subjects and go through some stuff. Um or whatever. We could plan on doing a quiz or we could plan on doing some fun things. Um and then it would be every other week because the boys are at their dad's on a weekend, so then I can have time to spend with you. Nightbot, no, and do you have to do that? Because I'm not planning on if you don't have to, because the nightbot looks like a pain in the ass to me, little Redo, like really, really looks like a pain in the ass. So I mean, the stuff I'm going to be talking about, Barnes, is it's not for little ears. To be fair, you know, some of it can be pretty horrific, as you know. So I really don't want the boys around to hear it, you know. Because we can deep dive into some of the issues that we see in these cases, you know. That's what I want to do. And then the things that I'm professionally trained in, as well as having life experience in, and I can pass that knowledge on and help others, then that's what I want to do. So, um, you know, I think it would be a good thing. And then I want other people who've got life experiences or professionalisms in certain things. It can be anything at all. Could come up and share and help others and share their knowledge and stuff like that. But I want it to be a fun place as well. So, like, I don't know, I want some quotes from you and stuff like that. That'll boost people's morale. And we can have some games. I don't know what kind of games, like, we'll have to have a think. Um, People share people's stories, or Little Red Oak could do the stories, and I could do a follow up with some skills or some safety planning or something like that. And all it's a community channel, so it's about everybody. So it's not just my channel. Obviously, I'm running it, but it's about all of you guys. So anything you can bring to the table, you can come up on panel. We can, you know, we can even do like private lives, you know, because if we planned it like for other people, like say I don't know, there was something personal we wanted to share, and we emailed each other and we got in a proper group, we could private get everybody in that and private it to stop others getting in if needed be, to try and keep the group small, if that's what people wanted to do. I talked to Star at the radio. I talked to her a lot. So yeah, she's great. She's got life experience too. Hi, Brianna as well. How you doing? You're driving, but listen, right, so I know you probably can't type back and don't crash your car. Thank you for dropping in. I really appreciate it. So, what do you think about the bits of videos I've been putting out? I'm just been doing a bit of practice. I'm really rubbish at it. Um, but I think I'm getting a little bit better, and I want to make them a bit more informative for people, so they can just, if they want to drop in and grab some pointers and advice, just to have a quick look and put in their store in their memory, you know. Women's shelter in our country gathering clothing bags for them. That's lovely. Little red door. I used to like work in the service. We had like outreach support, and we had refuge space, and like group work and perpetrator programs and all that. And we used to do that. Do we had a shop um but in the refuge. Obviously, the women didn't need to buy the stuff. It was free, but we set it up like a proper shop for the women who turned up with nothing. Um, so it felt like there was shopping. The stuff was mainly secondhand. We got some brand new stuff in, but the women would get like a shopping trolley and they would walk around it and pick their stuff and their kids' stuff, like they were shopping for them for something. It made it a bit better than having to rake through charity bins and things, you know, when they just lost everything and walked out. It just made them feel a bit more, you know, cared about. Um, yeah, when I left mine, I had a toddler and a 6 month old, and the clothes on our backs. Um, and it was done in such haste, and yeah, it, but it was. I tell you what it is. It was the best night's sleep even though I walked away now, it was the best night's sleep I've ever had in my life. Like the soundest, deepest night's sleep I'd ever had in my life when I got to the refuge. Yeah, West End, you're in the UK, so I'll just have to rely on you. You'll keep us right, won't you, kiddo? Stop us from making a car crash, getting myself into trouble. Yeah, I could tell you some stories. Maybe one day I will, but it's horrible because I think sometimes you have to be really careful on you because you don't know who's going to come in and watch and then try and use stuff against you. However, to be fair, I'm an open book, and everybody who knows us knows everything about us. Like because of my experience, I tell people about it because if, I think life experience is important when you're working in that field to try and help others, because there's nothing worse than somebody who knows nothing about your situation sitting reading out of a textbook telling you how you should feel and what you should be doing. That, like, well, that's how I feel. I mean, you do get some really good practitioners, don't get us wrong. That's not what I mean, but certain things in life should be handled by people who understand or have support in there from people who understand, because it's like addiction. So I'm in recovery. I have been since 2007. And the worst thing I found was when went to the clinic to try and get some substitute medication to help us, and I was trying to talk about withdrawals, and the nurse went, "Just take a couple of paracetamol and just take some ibuprofen and you'll be all right." And I looked at her and went, "I'm taking heroin. Like, how the hell is that going to help?" Like, if I could just take a couple of paracetamol and it would make us okay, then I wouldn't be sat here in front of you begging you for help. It can be, yeah. So I think peer support is a really, really good thing. So that's what I want to try and do a little bit of. But and also like support for families as well and friends and stuff, because everybody can recover from substances quicker with support. They can also, you know, get out of the situation of abuse quicker with support. We often find, don't we, that when people come to clinics to get clean or when they come into refuge, you look at them and you think, you hear, where's your family? But by the time they get to that point where they're coming for help or they're leaving, their families walked away. And I want to try and raise awareness at grassroots level. So we need to go back to the beginning, to the start, and educate people like before it gets to domestic violence, to try and look at our teenagers' minds. I haven't really looked at teenage relationships. Was always adults I've worked with, mainly. And when I was putting this PowerPoint together to talk to you about, I actually looked at the kids' statistics, like not the children who's affected by domestic violence, because I do work with that, but the actual, the teenagers like who've grown up in a domestic violence household, or haven't, but they've then met somebody as a partner and they're now experiencing domestic abuse. And the thing I don't like is calling abusive relationships or violent relationships toxic. That a toxic relationship and an abusive and violent relationship is totally different. Toxic's, you're on a level playing field, aren't you? You're not scared of, no one's scared of anybody. It's just you're just nasty to each other, and you just don't get along, or you put each other down, and there's no fear factor in it. That's the difference. And I think sometimes with the teenagers and young people get told, "Oh, you're in a toxic relationship," so they don't think it's as serious as it actually is. So I want to do a bit around that as well. Um, I don't know if the guys agree. I'm just waffling on. Um, you know, yeah, we should talk about Little Red One. I think it's very important. I think the reason why all these things happen is because it's hidden, and because it's not talked about, and because there's stigma attached, and because it's taboo, and because of that, and the other thing, communities. So I was part of this vision um, before I left my job around communities and family and friends and that, but it was more communities as a main focus, because how many neighbours don't do anything because they're scared, obviously, like a lot. They can hear, you know, all sorts going on next door or over the road, and they don't phone it in because of the stigma and the repercussions, and just the the if I don't see it, or I turn a blind eye to it, it isn't happening. I don't know how many times I was being beaten up and praying that a neighbour would phone the police, because I couldn't do it myself because it was too dangerous. I used to pray, please somebody send the police, and nobody ever did. Um, and most of the time it's like that for I use the term women mainly because it's mainly women I know who suffer from it. I do know a couple of men, but it's predominantly, you know, a male on female situation. Yeah, they are scared to say something. My perpetrator was um a feared man in my community. He was a very dangerous man. I mean, I've been walking down the street, and he's got hold of us in the middle of the street, and punching punching us in the head. And there's been men walking up, and when they got close enough, they were just going to intervene, and then they saw who it was, and they just turned around and walked the other way and looked at us with like pitiful eyes, thinking, "I'm so sorry, honey, we can't do anything," you know. But you can do something now. I mean, back then there was no mobile phones, you know, but now there is. So I would say get a safe distance away if you can, or try and remember what street you were on, a landmark, what the person looked like, you know, if you're walking past it in the street, what they were wearing, as much detail as you can remember in your head, and walk away, get somewhere safe and phone it in, because you don't know, in 2 seconds the person could be dead, you know, and you don't have to say who you are. You can remain anonymous, and you can reinforce that anonymity, you know, with the law enforcement. So I want to go over all of that with you. So if that's all right with you all, I mean, what do you think? What kind of things would you like from the channel? Because I'm just rabbiting on, talking away at you. Hi, Sassy. You all right? Yeah, you're right. Little Red Door police. The police in the UK have come on a lot to what they were. Um, I do see the difference from our police to your police. To be fair, how they handle situations. I can't watch, like, you know, the body cam footage that some people put on of like TV situations, I sit and watch it and think, oh my God, the first rule of thumb is to separate the two people, you know, to be able to speak to them properly, because you don't know the situation. I mean, Sarah Boone, I mean, just watching the evidence and the videos of Sarah Boone and George, I was screaming that he was the victim in that. Like, the police just didn't see it. Yeah, they do. West End, they do run services better. I can wholeheartedly tell you that they do. Um, I've got some stuff that I've done like in both areas, so with substance misuse and with domestic abuse. And my style when I was working with people was totally different to like everybody else in the office who was doing the work, because some of them had slight lived experience, but not on the level that I had. And helping somebody go into recovery is a tricky business, and it's got to be personal centered. And services try to use like a roadmap and treat everybody the same and get them all to follow exactly the same rules, and it's it's not one size fits all. I mean, the 12 steps in AACA, NA, and all that's marvelous, but like I say, one size doesn't fit all, and some people don't like using that. And that they prefer like CBT, like smart recovery programs. So I developed a program that incorporates it all. Um, and I would use that in me daily work with my clients who like I've worked with personally. I used to get in trouble off my boss because it was all about money to the service. So the service would like give us a caseload and give us a time limit of how long we could work with these people for, and how long's a piece of string, how long does it take for somebody to recover. It can take years, or it can take minutes, or it can take days, or it can, you know. And I've worked with people who were written off by the service, or what you're assessing him for. He'll not come back. He never comes back. He comes back once and then he doesn't come back no more. And then at the end of it, like, I've got two people who I've worked with who were totally written off, that's still in recovery 7 years later. So it, it it is a lifetime commitment. It's an ongoing thing. But the way I describe it, when you've got people coming in and they've never done it before, like they've never managed to complete and stop and be abstinent, or achieve their goal, or they've never tried, or you know, and they'll say, but and it is one of the hardest things you'll ever do, and you have to totally change your life around. But I say to them, the only way I can describe it is like it's a little bit like when someone passes away. So when you first stop using the substance, you think about it every minute of every day. It's there. It's constant. It's like when you stop smoking, your hands look for cigarettes even though you haven't got any. You know, it it's there every second of every day, and you've got to remind yourself that you don't do it anymore, and it's really hard. But as time goes on, you forget a little bit about it. Like it's not there straight away. A little bit like when you lose somebody, like it's there constantly every waking moment. But then it gets a little bit easier, you know. And you wake up one day and it can take an extra minute before you think about it. It's a little bit like that. You're right, it's personal centered and they've got to want it. And this is the hard thing. Because friends and family think that if you love us, you'll do it, and it isn't about them not loving you. It's not about that. They love you to bits, but they just can't. Like it, it, it it's a so complex situation, and that's what I want to support people to learn and understand, and to also be able to protect themselves. Because in the recovery plan to help family and friends, there's a little bit at the end where you've got to walk away from the person who's an addict. Eventually, if it comes to that, you've got to. And that's one of the hardest things our friends and family have to face, in supporting them to be able to do that, just to close the door and let somebody hit rock bottom. Because sometimes we support them and we're there, and it doesn't help because they know you're there and you're not going anywhere, and it makes you ill. So anyway, I'm just rabbiting on. Yeah, they do have to want it. Can't make someone want it, but you can find people and you can show them what it's all about and show them the options, because you know what, a lot of it's fear, a lot of it's not knowing what to expect. And one of my clients said to me, do you know, I've done this, I've worked with like 6 recovery workers before, this is my 6th time, and nobody's ever understood us like you do, and no one's listened to us like you do, and no one's like, and it doesn't have to be about abstinence either. This is the thing. I mean, most people end up having to be abstinent because most people are full blown dependent, and you can never have it again because it just kicks it straight back off. And it's hard sitting on your hands and not saying something to somebody like, oh well, I just want to be able to drink on a weekend. Okay. And at first, when I first started doing the work, I used to say you can't do that, and I'd tell them you can't do that, and I would just put them off. So what would happen was, after I'd learned that, I started to say, all right, then we'll do that then, and then I'd set up the goal plans for them to try and work towards weekend drinking, or birthday drinking, or recreational drug use, or whatever. It would be about their goals. So we do that, and then they finally realised that they couldn't do that. But some people can. And some recovery programs say you have to be abstinent from absolutely every substance. You're not allowed antidepressants to help you with your mental health, cigarettes, caffeine. You know, they make you strip everything away, and I don't think that's fair. I had a drug problem, but I don't have a problem with alcohol. I don't like drinking. I have an odd glass of wine at Christmas or something when we dinner. I don't like alcohol. I don't like the way it makes us feel. I don't like the taste of it. Like really, I mean, alcohol would like that's fruity pop or something I can get away with maybe, but I don't. I couldn't. Most addicts will swap onto a different kind of addiction. But alcohol's never been a problem for me, and wholeheartedly say that. So it's about trial and error. To be fair. Yeah, and that's it. Already, the service I worked for domestic abuse, I used to struggle with that because my boss would be get them in, get them safe, do them a safety plan, get them sorted, move them somewhere else out the way, and just let them go, and that was it. It was all about in, safety, out, and nothing about how they're feeling. They still love the person, like making sense of it all, and that's why they go back again, because there's not that support. Yeah, coffee can be a drug. They are drugs. It's all drugs, but I don't. I personally, this is just my opinion and my like me personally. I'm not saying other people have to do what I'm saying, but yes, they are drugs, and some recovery programs state you should be absent of absolutely everything, even coffee, tea, cigarettes, everything. But I disagree. I totally disagree, and especially around antidepressants for mental health, because most people are dual diagnosis. So most people are mental health and addicts, and you need to cure both things at the same time, and they won't do that. They won't look at the mental health till they treat the addiction. And they can't treat the addiction without looking at the mental health, because that's why they're doing it most of the time. And it's stupid, and it boils me piss, because as long as somebody can get to a level on the substance that they use and where they can retain information and they understand what you're saying to them, then if the drug use is still in play, or the alcohol use, or whatever it is, as long as they can actually work on their mental health at the same time as coming off a substance or whatever, then they should be able to do that, because it's stupid. So anyway, I'm Robert Nunn. My therapist gave me the best advice. Mm. Did it not put you at risk as well, or Sassy J doing that? I thought you might, because you're withholding sex, and then it's who you're sleeping with, have you got somebody else? What the therapist should have said was, right, we need to make a safety plan. How we're going to get you out of this situation. Not just didn't give him sex and make him kick off. Because most, not all men, but a lot of men, sex is more important to them than most things, isn't it? You're on husband for. I've only got one husband, but I've had several like longer term relationships. So technically, it's the same thing, the red door, isn't it? It's frowned upon by a lot of people, but who gives a shit? That's because most of the men I've been out with have been complete assholes, to be fair. Well done for taking your kids and leaving. Well done. Can be scary, but so worth it sometimes. Problem I had was I kept going back, but that's to be expected. And people don't understand that either. Um, and that's something we can go through with trauma bonding and things like that. And telling women or men that it's okay to love them, because that used to pay me off about the service that I work for, because they wouldn't let the women say that. So, like, in a way, it made them feel awkward. And why? Because you are going to still love them. You wouldn't still be there, would you? Or you wouldn't have just left if you didn't. Like, anyway, I'm going to sign off because my children are about to bull through the door in a minute. I, I've just been rabbiting on. I do apologise. But it's nice checking in with you guys, and I do appreciate you being here. You don't notice the drinking at first, because little red door, because it's usually you go out on dates, or and there's alcohol, or you go out on a weekend and there's alcohol, and you don't realise, and people who have an issue usually hide it quite a lot. Anyway, I'm going to get away, and I won't be on tomorrow and Sunday. And well, my children are popping swimming and stuff, so I might get on while they're out. But I think it's going to be in the morning, and I don't think that's a very good time for Americans. So I might just do some videos over the weekend and pop them out. Is there anything you would like us to put on videos to put out? Is there anything like you need? We'll discuss that, Little Red, or we'll discuss that about the hiding and stuff. I'd like to go over a lot of stuff with you guys. If you want to tell me like what you would like to talk about, that would be cool. And some of you can come up on panel and we can chat or something as well about it. It would be nice to like not sit and talk to myself in a way like at the screen, like have someone else to bounce off with a voice. Would you come up, Sassy, or not? Or do you like just being in the chat? That's what I am doing, starting a series. I've already got the one for the live next weekend. I've done like a PowerPoint presentation of like all sorts of kinds of stuff around domestic violence and how family and friends are best placed to support and the do's and don'ts and stuff. And then I'm gonna do like a session on like creating a safety plan, like things like that, and also around addiction. I'm gonna do stuff on that as well. Right, so we need to think of what we can talk about, Sassy, for you to come up on a panel. Little Red, or you think of something and all for you to come up on a panel, and we'll do like guest spots and discuss issues or discuss whatever you like. Safety plan's good. And do a generic one, okay, which will cover most things. However, if they really do need to be personal, like personal centre planned, like for a proper safety plan. But generic ones where people can help you a little bit, I can give. But anybody who wanted a personal centered one would have to contact us privately, you know, and confidentially on a secure like platform or email. Oh, hiya, Panda. Are we going now? Oh, I hate it when people just come in and I'm leaving. I'm really sorry. I'll pop a couple of videos out over this weekend, and then I'll see you at the same time on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we'll do a large like presentation live on Friday night and Friday night here in the UK, and Saturday. I'll put all the details out for you, so you know what's happening. All right. Please come back next time, Pando. You can watch the replay if you like, so you get a feel for what we've been talking about to see if you'd like to come back again. Okay, guys. So you can email me if you want to tell us something that you would like to focus on, or you want me to do specifics, or whatever. Just get in touch, because this is your channel as much as it's mine, and I want to cover all the things that you want. Yeah, my email's on my channel. You've got my email anyway, Sassy. But there's emails on my channel for different things in the about bit, I think, or on the description of my channel. So there's like suggestions email, so you can suggest things to us that you'd like. And there's a confidential email for people to send us their stories or things that they want to keep confidential, that they don't want other people to necessarily know it came from them or whatever. Okay, guys, I'm gonna love yous and leave yous. God bless. Catch the replay if you've just missed us. I'm so sorry. I hate it when that happens. And it's been lovely chatting to you. So take care, everybody. Catch you soon. You have a wonderful day too. Well, it's 3:20, and thank God it's Friday. So have a great Friday, guys. Videos over this weekend. I'll see you all on Monday at the same time, okay? So for Panda, what country are you in? If you're still here. No, she's still here. Yeah, Monday, yeah. So the time will be I think it was 9:30 Central was a little red, and 10:30 Eastern, and 2:30 PM UK on Monday, and that's Monday to Thursday, and then we'll have a long live going over some stuff on the Friday and the Saturday when I haven't got the children. Okay, guys, bye. Love you. Bye.